Have you ever tried to connect two SharePoint lists in Power Apps but ran into issues with the title column? You can't use it as a lookup column, and expecting users to type the exact same text every time in your app is a recipe for messy data. But I have a simple solution. In this video, I'll show you how to use a drop-down to pull in titles from one SharePoint list, let users add details in a form, and then save everything to a second list using the patch function. This keeps your data clean, makes Power BI connections seamless, and improves the user experience. Let's dive in. Here's a common issue. So we have an app where people are going to submit their expenses. On this Submit Expenses page, we see that there's a form here where users are submitting their expenses. We also have a page in our app to track reimbursement payments. Now, here's the issue. If users need to enter a title manually here, they might misspell it or format it differently from the original reimbursement, making it hard to connect that data for us later. Since the title column in SharePoint can't be a lookup column, we need to use the patch function to solve this. Now we've switched to a version where the title column in our form is a drop-down. And I use that drop-down control that pulls the title values from my first SharePoint list. This way users aren't selecting an existing item instead of typing it out. Now they can fill in additional details about that item in this separate form. This ensures consistency and reduces errors across our data. Here's a preview of my patch code. When the user clicks the submit button, I use patch to save both the selected drop-down value and all of the additional form data to a second SharePoint list. This tells Power Apps to take the selected title from the drop-down and the extra info from the form and add them as a new entry. Now, when I submit, my second list has a clean, structured entry with the correct title without relying on manual entry. Here I have set up my app. I have my two forms here and my welcome screen as well as a success screen. And we're going to be focusing on this reimbursement payments form. What we want to start by doing is adding in our drop-down field to pull in the titles of the submitted expenses in the other SharePoint list. To do this, I go over to the Fields property, and I click the ellipses and I add a custom card here. Now you'll see it once you have this custom card that it populates here in the form to add an item. To do this, I make sure that all of these are formatted the same. I go ahead and I click into one of my existing drop-down fields and I'll press Ctrl+C to copy the title, and I'll click into the new card and press Ctrl+V to paste the title. You can see here that there's no value for the text, and if I click into that, it's because it's trying to pull in the name of a column in SharePoint. Now this SharePoint column doesn't exist, so I'm going to go ahead and call this reimbursement title. Now you can see that this populates in the card, formatted exactly the same. I will do the same thing with the drop-down field here in the payment method, press Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to paste this item into my new card. I will drag to resize this, and then we can see we have some errors here that we need to end up fixing. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit in Formula Bar, and I'm going to delete the error. And then next we'll want to switch to the items property and we'll want to update this. I'm going to go ahead and delete this code as well. And you can see when I do this, we get a select data source option. I'm going to go ahead and click expense reimbursement. That's my other SharePoint list. And once I do this, now I need to select my fields. So over here in the properties on the right-hand side, I will edit this, and I'm going to remove all of the other properties. Now that I've done this, what I want to do is just double check before I get any further into formatting if the right items are being pulled in. I can do this by clicking the preview button and checking in my drop-down here that all of these reimbursements are showing up. Since they are, we can go ahead and go back and start working on formatting. What I like to do again is click into one of the existing cards here, and starting with the title, I like to look at their position and their size in the properties on the right-hand side. So my X position or my horizontal position is at 24, and my Y or my vertical position is at 10. And I'll click into this title of my new card, and I will replicate that same position. Now I'll go ahead and do the same thing with the drop down here. Click the drop down. I see that the position is at 24 and 36. I'll go ahead and click into my drop down and change my position to match. And now lastly, I need to update my card size so that it matches all of the other card sizes. I select this card and I can see that my height is at 70. So I'll go ahead and change that height to match. Now that I have this here, I want to remove this title from my form and move this reimbursement title up into that same spot. So I'll go ahead and click on my form, and in the fields property, I will remove the title field and I'll drag my custom card up to the top. Now what I want to do is I want to filter this reimbursement title list to only include items that have been approved for reimbursement. So if I come over into my expense reimbursement list, I can see all of these items and some of them have been rejected. I'll go ahead and go back into Power Apps here, and we need to wrap this with a filter. I go ahead and start to type filter, and you can see here my source is this SharePoint list. I'll type a comma, and now we need our logical test. So what I need is this approval status column to equal approved. I'm going to start to type approval status, and you'll see that the name of the column shows up here. I'll select this, and we want to put a dot here, and we want to look at the value that's in this column. And then I'll go ahead and put an equal sign, and we want this to equal approved. I'll go ahead and close out my parentheses here, and we'll just do one more check by clicking the preview button, and now my list is a lot smaller to only include those approved payments. I'll exit out of my preview here, and now that we have this drop down and we have all of our other fields already set up from our form, now we need to code our submit button. So instead of just submitting a form, what we are going to use is the patch function. So I'm going to leave the reset form as is. I'm going to delete the submit form, and I'm going to press enter so that I can work on a blank line here. And I'm going to start by using the patch function. The patch function can get quite long. So to break this up, I like to press enter here so that I'm writing each line of my code on a new line. So now we need to look at the record that we're trying to update, and that's going to be the name of our list here. So that's reimbursement payments. I'm going to go ahead and type a comma and enter so that I have the next line open for me. We're going to use the defaults function. The defaults part of the patch function is used to create a new record in this data source. So we're going to go ahead and type reimbursement payments again here. We'll close out the parentheses and we'll type a comma, and we'll go ahead and return one line. And now here is where we need to put in all of our data. So to do that, we wrap that in curly braces. So I'm going to put a curly brace here, and we're going to be looking first for the title column. Now this drop down here is going to show you all of the columns that are in your SharePoint list. So we're starting with title here. And for title, we want to put in this drop down value. Now to do this, I need to check what the name of that drop down value is. The easiest way I've found is to click into the drop down value, look in the tree view, and I scroll to where this data card is selected. Now, if I need to open this up anymore, I can do that here, and I can see that this is data card value 9_1. Now this is probably a really bad title here. So what I can do is I can go ahead and double click in here to rename this. Now this is a drop down field, so I like to start that with the lowercase letters DRP. And I'm going to say reimbursement title. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and rename all of the other data cards in my other form questions. So here I see this payment method card and where people are actually filling in information. This is a text input and this is the payment method. Now, renaming all of these is going to make our life easier when we're writing our patch code. So I see here I have my content type, double click and rename this DRP content type, and I'll come up to the payment date. And this is a date picker, so I use lowercase dp and say payment date. And lastly, for our amount paid here, I'm going to say txt amount. Okay, now that I have all of these updated, I'm going to click back into my submit button, and now it should be a little easier to map out my columns and my data. So my title column is going to be DRP, and that's going to be our reimbursement title. And we want to make sure we're putting a dot here and we're getting the selected item. And from there, we need to put one more dot and we need to tell it which part of this SharePoint list are we actually adding into our title. Now remember, we linked this card here to the other SharePoint list. So it makes sense that while we're viewing just the title, that this actually holds all of the information from the SharePoint list. So what we can do is we can scroll down and I want to get the title of this reimbursement. I'm going to put a comma, a space, and then return. I'm also going to return the title onto its own line. And we'll go ahead and go with our next amount paid here. So I start to type in the word amount and I can see amount paid. And I'm going to go through just like I did with my title. So this is a text amount and we want to put a dot and we add the value of this. Put a comma. You may have noticed that when I typed this that it didn't give me much help in the way of drop downs like this. Sometimes that happens when you return to a new line. So to combat this, I might go ahead and scroll down and find the next value I have, this payment date, and then click before it and return that to a new line. And now I can start to type in my date picker, payment date, dot. I want to use the selected date here, type a comma, and you'll again notice when I type that space, it removes those other options. So I press return, and now I'm looking for payment method. This is going to be my drop-down payment method. We put a dot, and we want to use the selected value. And then type a comma. And our last one we're looking for is content type. I can select that and then return it to a new line. And we're looking for our drop-down content type, dot, selected, dot. And now we can see here that it's asking whether we want the ID or the name. And what this tells me is that I might have selected the wrong column here. And if I go back to my list, I see here that there's only actually 4 columns that we need to add. So this tells me that this content type doesn't need to be in here at all. I can go ahead and delete that. And we'll go ahead and wrap up our patch function here by using the curly brace. I will return and close the parentheses here. Okay, now that this is finished, I need to go into my form here and remove the content type field by selecting the field and deleting the content type dropdown. Now I'll go ahead and test this out to make sure that my patch function is working. I will preview the app. I'll select one of the reimbursements. I'll say that this was $568.97. It was paid today, and our payment method was a check. I'll go ahead and hit submit here. You can see that my form reset. So that tells me that it got to that second part of the function. I'll go ahead and go to my SharePoint list and refresh. And I see here that I now have this row in this SharePoint list about the digital billboard. If we were to create any sort of report here, we could now tie this same record to this digital billboard record.